Hey guys, looks like it's beer 30. Let's go see what's in the fridge today.
Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Thanks a ton for stopping by. Today's beer I have had for a long time, guys. This is a 2009. This beer is approximately 10 years old. I bought this long time ago, and it's been cellaring ever since in the fridge downstairs. Back then I was into buying these monster beers. Not so much anymore. Do you need a 15.07% beer? Probably not. Very hard to hide that much alcohol in a beer. So unless you just like that big boozy taste on these monster beers that Avery produces, and it does have a whole lot of sediment junk in the bottom of the bottle on this, and that's typical when you cellar a beer that long. It's just nature of the game, guys. It's going to happen. If you're cellaring an imperial stout or porter, it's a very dark beer. You can't see it till you pour it into the glass and you get down to the final chug or final sip, and you see all that stuff in the bottom of the glass or in the bottom of the bottle after you poured it. And Beer Advocate puts them all into the same category no matter what. But they do have a listing here from 2004. They have two different versions, and it goes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then in 16, I don't see anything for 17, 18, or 19. And all of them have different batches. So they're throwing that scale in there to let you know. You can scroll down and you can see what year you have, because they are putting that on the label. So thumbs up to them for doing that. But I don't know what, a lot of times they tell us when. This one says bottled in 2009. That's all it's telling us. I don't know if it was in January, July, December. I don't know what part of 2009 that it was put in the bottle. So really not super critical when you got a 10-year-old beer. So it's approximately 10 years old. And I bought this beer, and it wasn't a cheap bottle to buy, being a 15.07%er. Comes with a premium price for that much alcohol and that much malt and yeast to produce that beer and balance it out. So, but it does have a whole lot of sediment in the bottom of the bottle, and I think I got a couple of more beers in there that I've had for a while from these guys, and we're going to get to them pretty quick too. I'm trying to get rid of these beers that are 7, 8, and 10 years old, emptying out the closet in the cellaring fridges, guys, if you will. So that's all we need to talk about from those guys. Let me jump over. And Untappd, of course, has the 2009 listed. 15.07%, no IBUs, no commercial description. So, it's time. Let's get it open and see what we got. See how well this one has cellared for a 15.07%. And we got all that peeled back on the side there so it doesn't get into the glass. I'm going to pour this very gently because I don't want all that junk in the bottom of the bottle in my glass. Whole lot of stuff in that bottom right there, and a big cake of something on the bottom. Not much head on that super easy pour. A nice mahogany color. Very good looking beer. To the nose we go. I'm getting the booze, I'm getting the roasted malt, a little bit of molasses, and there might be some dark fruit in there. Belgian strong dark ale according to Untapped. But it's hard to hide that much alcohol, guys. It really is. Even for a beer that's been selling that long. So let's dive in and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Wow. Big beer. Huge beer. Monster beer. Very nice sweet notes to it, like a lot of the Belgian strong ales and barley wines have. It's a tasty beer, guys. I'm not going to lie. Seems to have cellared very well, but you better be prepared if you're drinking a 15.07%er. Some of them are bigger, some of them are not quite as big, but this is a big beer. This is definitely one you want to either have a designated driver or drink at home. Seriously doubt you're going to find a 2009 anywhere. Those beers have been drunk up and bought up. There may be some people like me that can cellar beers for a long time and not worry about them. There are a lot of people or subscribers that tell me, how do you cellar a beer that long? I would have to drink it. You just put it away in the refrigerator. You don't look at it every day, and before you know it, you got a 10-year-old beer on your hands. You would not want to cellar a 5 or 6% beer, no matter what style it is, to me, in my humble honest opinion, that long. But when you start getting into these style of beer, the imperial stouts and imperial porters and imperial barley wines and Belgian strong dark ales, especially when they get to this magnitude, 15%er, this beer is going to keep for a long time, up to 20 years probably. You're going to get a little bit more sediment. The longer you keep it, the more sediment is probably going to accumulate in the bottom of the bottle. That's been my experience anyway. And some beers have sediment in the bottle after 6 months. And some beers don't have any sediment at all after 5, 6, 7, 8, even 10 years, depending on the style of the beer. But usually, if you cellar a beer that long, you're going to get a little bit of sediment in it. So it's really hard to see on an imperial porter or imperial stout what kind of sediment you're getting until you look in the bottom of the bottle after you poured it, or you see the very back end going into the glass and it's a whole lot different color. It's super dark and it changes the color of the head or anything. So big beer, definitely a sipper, not a chugger, unless you just want to get shit-faced real quick. So I'm going to sip on this one for a while. Looks a lot and smells a lot like a barley wine, but it is a huge Belgian strong dark ale. So let me sip on it and we'll come back and give it a grade. Alright guys, I'm back. I've been sipping on it for quite a while now, probably about an hour. Not much lacing at all left on the glass. Very big beer. Still has a little bit of booziness to it, not much as it did when it was cold out of the fridge, probably because I'm acclimated to drinking it. These guys at Avery do these big beers very well. I will not take that away from them, even though I'm not a big fan of these monster beers anymore. But it is a tasty beer, nonetheless. But it is a monster beer, guys. And just remember, you're drinking 3 beers when you drink 1 bottle of this. 3 beers. So a lot of calories, a lot of alcohol, and it's hard to hide that much alcohol in a beer. They're doing it pretty well, but I can still taste the booziness of the beer, even if the beer being 10 years old. So probably not something that I would purchase again because of that much alcohol. I don't. And of course, a lot of it has to do with my health problems and not wanting to drink a 2,000 calorie beer. All you young guys may think this beer is outstanding, exceptional. I probably would have 10 years ago if it didn't blow my palate out of my mouth, being a 15.7% or 07%. It is tasty beer. It's well made. A lot of junk in the bottom of it that I tried to keep in the bottle, and it looks like I succeeded fairly well. It's tasty beer, guys. Not world class, but pretty close. I do think it's an A beer, though. Final chug. For 15.07%, now I've been drinking on it for probably an hour, big beer, but a tasty beer. Very well done beer. And it's doesn't have the month or anything like that on this particular version. A lot of them does have the month on them. And they may, and this being that old, not a lot of breweries were even putting the vintage on them at that time. So 2 thumbs up to the guys at Avery for putting that information on them that long ago. I haven't bought anything from this brewery in a long time, guys. I just don't look for this magnitude of a beer anymore, especially in the last 7-8 months anyway. But I do review them. I have some in the fridge, and I have a couple of more from this brewery that are monster beers that we're going to get to pretty quick. Trying to get rid of these and get them out of the cellaring fridge and out of the closet, because I don't need to keep a beer any longer than 10 years, man. That's a long time. So I don't have any more beers that are extremely old like this, but big beers sell it very well. So I'm not going to take that away from it. Very tasty beer, but it is a monster beer. I'm going to give it to A, 95, guys, right down the middle of the A category. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 88, but they clump them all together. You got to remember that. No matter what year it is or what vintage or ABV, they put them all together. And they average all those scales up, whether you're drinking a 2009 or a 2016 version, no matter what the ABV is. Whereas when we go over to Untappd, they have the 2009 listed, and all those grades reflect on a 2009, so it's a lot more accurate. And they have it at 4.32, which is also in their A category. So it's an A beer. It definitely is an A beer, guys. Definitely worth picking up. If you have a 2009 cellaring, it's doing very well, guys. You could drink it now, or you could just let it sit there for a while longer. But you're going to see a lot of that sediment and floaties in the bottom of the bottle when you're cellaring a beer this long. But kind of learned how to pour those beers and leave a lot of that in the bottom of the bottle. And you can see there's still probably a swaller left in there, and that's where all that junk is. So pour it very easily if you don't want that in your glass, and if you don't mind it, just throw it to it. So if you've had the 2009, the Beast from Avery Brewing, the Gran Cru, let me know what you think. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.